been 6 months since they last put on the gloves and laced up the skates, but tonight, two teams are set to take it to the ice for another year of college hockey. The Minnesota State Mavericks are looking for redemption this season and are ready to solidify themselves as conference contenders in the WCHA. But look out, the St. Lawrence Saints have invaded the Midwest from the east and have plans of their own. Also tonight, Emily Valerio sits down with Minnesota State's hometown freshman, Corey Lieberman. We'll talk to our InsideCollegeHockey.com senior writer, Jess Myers, and we'll give you our season predictions. All this and more on the Charter College Hockey Weekend pregame show. Good evening and welcome to the Charter College Hockey Weekend pregame show. I'm Danny Wagner alongside Alexa Mowry, here to bring you an all-new season of WCHA college hockey. We'll begin this week's show with big news coming out of Penn State.
On September 17th, Penn State announced that it would add both men's and women's ice hockey as varsity sports. Play is expected to begin in the 2012-2013 season. With the addition of a big school such as Penn State, college hockey could change conference and competition-wise. It is believed that with Penn State joining the college hockey world, it could draw Big Ten teams such as Wisconsin and Minnesota into a 6-team mega conference. This could take away from the competition that currently exists in the WCHA and CCHA. However, it's no doubt that with Penn State joining college hockey, it will bring excitement and possibly spark an interest in other schools to add college hockey to their programs. This could not be possible without the generous donation of a whopping $88 million from Terry and Kim Pagula to fund an all-seasons arena for both college hockey and the community. Danny, we'll have to see how this shapes up over the course of the season.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a very interesting situation, Alexa. We'll have to keep our eyes on it. Let's now take a look at this year's season preview. As you may have heard, 2 teams have been added to the WCHA this year. These new teams include the Bemidji State University Beavers and the University of Nebraska-Omaha Mavericks. Bemidji State statistically comes out on top when they're first to score in the game, but on the flip side, the Nebraska Mavericks had a better home record this past season but struggled on the road. For the rest of the WCHA, North Dakota, St. Cloud State, and Minnesota Duluth are the clear conference champion favorites this year. Also, Wisconsin and Denver are coming out strong seasons. Wisconsin reached the Frozen Four while Denver brought home the McNaughton Cup last year. However, after successful seasons, both teams lost several game-changing players. Wisconsin lost last year's Hobie Baker Award recipient Blake Jeffrion to the Milwaukee Admirals, a minor league team associated with the Nashville Predators, while Denver lost scoring champion and captain Rhett Rakshani, who signed with the New York Islanders. Not only that, Denver also lost Mark Chevry, who received Player of the Year, who left early to play for the Florida Panthers. Now looking ahead to the Red Baron Final 5 at the Xcel Energy Center, the playoffs are now have to account for the addition of Bemidji State and Nebraska-Omaha. Therefore, we're looking at a 6-game first-round playoff instead of 5, which is sure to shake things up. Moving on, Alexa and I have made our season predictions. Alexa?
Well, my pick is going to be up the Denver Pioneers to be the defending champs of the McNaughton Cup. Even though they're losing scoring champion Rhett Rakshani, they've still got some great players to take his spot. Up front, they've got Kyle Ostro, who scored 16 goals last season, along with Jesse Martin with 14. Since Denver lost Player of the Year Mark Chevry to the Florida Panthers, it looks like returning goalie Adam Murray will have some big skates to fill between the pipes. University of North Dakota, Shea Genoway is my pick to be Player of the Year. He was already voted the media's preseason Player of the Year and was also voted team captain. He may be coming off the bench from being redshirted last season, but his team is definitely looking up to him to help lead the way. What about you, Danny?
Alexa, I'm going to tell you right now, Denver is last year's news. Without Rakshani and Chevry covering the gaps in the net, they are no longer a championship caliber team. And to avoid going with the obvious favorite, North Dakota, I'm backing the University of Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs to bring home the McNaughton Cup this year. They returned senior Justin Fontaine to the lineup, who's coming off a stellar 21-goal season, along with the dynamic offensive duo of Jack and Mike Connolly. These 3 are responsible for UMD's powerhouse offense. And along with that, UMD is finally opening up a brand new arena to replace the old deck. UMD has all the elements to make this a phenomenal season. That is the reason why I'm also going with my man Jack Connolly to be Player of the Year. He was already chosen as the preseason Player of the Year and is coming off a stellar 49-point season. Let's now head over to our USCHO poll and take a look at where the nation's teams are ranked to start out the season. Boston College is the overwhelming favorite to win the title this year, coming off a 29-10-3 record. That's ridiculous. They received 28 first-place votes, while North Dakota only received 4 and Miami 2. WCHA Conference favorites, North Dakota is ranked second in the polls and look to be Boston's biggest threat this year. Also, some notables that made the poll from WCHA are St. Cloud State, UMD, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. Look for Minnesota to have a strong season this year. They're coming off a disappointing season, but with the return of their captain Jay Barbell and Alex Kangas in net, they could be a big underdog contender to look out for. I think they have a lot to play for this year to regain their reputation as a powerhouse in college hockey. Coming up, we'll introduce you to the freshest faces on the Mavs with our Fresh Freshman segment, and our very own Emily Valerio will sit down with one of those fresh freshmen, Corey Lieberman. But first, we'll talk to our InsideCollegeHockey.com insider Jess Myers about the upcoming season. All this and more when we return to the Charter College Hockey Weekend pregame show.
If you are in the market for a quality pre-owned vehicle, look no further than St. Cloud Toyota Crossroads Lot. You'll find an excellent selection of late model vehicles with free vehicle history reports, no hassle pricing, and straightforward financing. They deliver honest answers with a low pressure approach. All this backed by an over 40-year reputation in the automotive business. St. Cloud Toyota Crossroads Lot. Exceptional vehicles, exceptional value. You'll find them located in front of Sears at Crossroads Center, or click on used cars at crossroads.com.
Here's what customers are saying about Advantage One and Integrity Insurance.
I chose Advantage One because of the personal attention and service I got from my agent. We have homeowners and both of our vehicles covered through Integrity Insurance. If someone's looking for insurance, I would definitely tell them to call Advantage One.
Next time you're looking for insurance, give us a call, where your policy always comes with an agent.
Advantage One and Integrity. We're true to our name. Call today.
Welcome back. We now welcome InsideCollegeHockey.com senior writer Jess Myers to the show to give us some added insight into the WCHA. Well, Jess, the big news in the offseason was the addition of Penn State to the world of college hockey. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, you know, it's one of those good news, bad news kind of things, it looks like. I mean, and it could kind of play out one of two ways. The easy route for them would just be to join the CCHA, where they would be in there with Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State, which are all pretty familiar opponents for Penn State fans. And, you know, I'm not saying they'd be competitive right away, but that would be kind of the low-impact edition. And, you know, overall, it's good to see a program the magnitude of Penn State come on board. But the other way it could go is what a lot of people have talked about with 6 Big Ten teams now. If they form a Big Ten hockey conference, which means those 3 teams I mentioned would leave the CCHA, Minnesota and Wisconsin would both leave the WCHA, would obviously be kind of a seismic shift for college hockey in a lot of communities.
There are 2 new faces in the WCHA, Jess. What does the addition of these 2 teams do to the conference?
Yeah, and that's kind of an exciting thing too. You know, and unlike, you know, nothing against a program like Minnesota State Mankato or St. Cloud State when they came on board, but you're looking at adding 2 teams that aren't really kind of fledgling non-traditional teams looking for a home. You've got Nebraska Omaha, which is obviously a very established program for the last decade or so. They play in a big market. They play in a big building. They're coached by a legend in Dean Players. So that's an exciting addition. And then you've got Bemidji State, which has won 13 national championships on the lower division. They were in the Frozen Four 2 years ago. They also have a new building opening up. So, you know, it's 2 kind of exciting additions to the conference. And, you know, I don't know how competitive they'll be right away, but it is kind of a fun thing to get some new opponents and some new places to play if you're a WCHA traditionalist.
Jess, North Dakota was picked in the preseason to win the conference. What do you think about the Sioux this year and the other top teams and players this year?
We talk about North Dakota a lot. They're obviously our favorite to win the WCHA on InsideCollegeHockey.com, and frankly, they're our favorite in the country right now. And, you know, the key player there is Jay Ganaway coming back from an injury last year. He missed all but about a month and a half last season. Behind North Dakota, I've got in quick succession Minnesota, Duluth, and St. Cloud State, which I think are going to be, you know, definitely a step back from the Sioux, but are going to be 2 very good hockey teams. Minnesota Duluth has the Connollys, Mike and Jack, who are not related but share the same last name. They score a ton of goals. They've got a new building that's going to be opening up in Duluth in December. So it's kind of an exciting time for that program. And St. Cloud State had a huge year last year, winning its first NCAA tournament game. They've got a good core of players back. They do have to replace a lot of scoring with Ryan Lash being gone now. But I think Garrett Rowe is the guy that's going to step up and kind of fill those shoes, and they definitely want to take the next step this year and get to the Frozen Four.
Well, Jess, tonight we are covering the matchup between the MSU Mavericks and the St. Lawrence Saints. What are your thoughts on the Mavericks going into this year?
Well, there are a lot of question marks for the Mavericks. The first of all being you've got to replace Tyler Pitlick. That was a tough loss for them, and Troy Juding admitted school was not a huge priority for him, and he decided to go to a place where it was kind of hockey only, and that'll probably be a good move for him personally, but that's a tough loss for the Mavericks. So you've got to replace offense right away. And then you've got to look defense as well. I kept waiting for the goaltending situation to solidify last year, and it did a little bit with Austin Lee, but he's got to be ready to take that next step this year and do more in goal for the Mavericks and win some games for them.
Thanks for joining us, Jess. Let's now take a look at this week's Spotlight player. Jonathan Toews has scored 25 goals so far in his career with the Chicago Blackhawks. He's a former player of the UND Fighting Sioux, where he scored over 40 goals in just 2 seasons. Before he joined the NHL, he played up in Canada and on the Canadian team during the Olympics.
It's now time for our trivia question. What school was the first to win back-to-back NCAA Men's Division I hockey championships? Was it A, Denver, B, Minnesota, C, Wisconsin, or D, Michigan? We'll have all of this and more when we come back to the Charter College Hockey Weekend pregame show.
All Medicare beneficiaries who need assistance getting around their home. Imagine one scooter or power chair that could improve your mobility and your life. One Medicare benefit that, with private insurance, may entitle you to pay little to nothing to own it. One company that can make it all happen.
Your power chair will be paid in full.
The Scooter Store.
Call the Scooter Store for free information today.
Call 1-800-910-7502 and we'll send you this light and magnifier just for calling. Call the Scooter Store now.
Welcome back. Before we went to break, we asked, what school was the first to win back-to-back NCAA Men's Division I hockey championships? The answer is Michigan, who actually accomplished the three-peat by winning 3 championships in a row in 1951, 52, and 53. Now, with the start of another college hockey season, fresh new faces have arrived on the campuses of colleges around the NCAA. Ah, yes, I'm talking about freshmen. Who can live without them but carry your books to class for you, take the heat at practice for that failed play, and it's always worth a laugh to watch them try and find their way around campus opening day. That's why tonight, it's only fitting that our focus is on the Minnesota State Mavericks' fresh freshmen. The Mavericks have brought in a total of 6 new fresh freshmen to the team this year. First off is number 19 forward Zach Alerke. Zach comes from the USHL Rough Riders and was ranked 2nd in the league with 7 game-winning goals with the Rough Riders. Might as well call him the Iceman because it's for sure that this kid's blood is made out of ice. Second on our list is number 20, forward Chase Grant. This kid was team captain of the Fargo Forest while in the USHL and received the team's MVP and Leadership and Dedication Award. Lead on, General Grant. Number 35, Evan Karambellis, is the newest goalie to the Mavs. Last year he manned the nets for Topeka of the NAHL and was ranked 4th among all active goaltenders with a 22-4-1 record in the NHL. Number 13 defenseman Danny Heath is out of the USHL and played for Des Moines last year. He appeared in 26 games and went 5-8-13 for the Bucks. Let's face it, with a name like Danny, yeah, he has to be good. Our 5th freshman is number 15 forward JP Burkemper. Also from the USHL, he played with Des Moines last year before being traded to Fargo. Finally, we come to our 6th and final freshman, your hometown boy from Mankato, Minnesota, number 11, Corey Lieberman. Our own Emily Valerio has the story.